pizzabarn.com. That's the Pizza Barn in Princeton, sponsor this program. We appreciate not only the fact they sponsor the program and the network, but that they're just such a great community asset. They bring pizzas and other food to officials. They travel all over wherever Princeton athletics go. They are a community fixture, and John knows even more about them than I do.
Yeah, Jody up there will tweet all these photos of officials holding a personal pizza from the Pizza Barn, and with the hashtag thank a ref written on it. Yeah, it's just a great thing they do up there. Very community minded, and just the referees love working games in Princeton. And she posted one on Twitter and Facebook last week about a couple of umpires holding those pizzas, doubleheader night, and the Pizza Barn had items at the concessions, as they always do up there. And I was looking at the menu here, Jim. We've been there. We've had dinner there. I'm just entranced by the cow pie pizza. Something about being from Iowa that appeals to me. So we got to get up there again, and that's the first thing I'm going to try is the cow pie pizza. But yeah, thanks to Pizza Barn. They do so much for so many people, and when it comes to our show and high school activities, they're just a great partner to have.
I'm going to the PGA Championship next week, but once I get back from that, we should find a date and get up there and visit on a beautiful summer night.
Let's do it.
All right, let's buzz through some other topics. 2 ball players and a state record.
Yeah, this is a John Journal story I posted over the weekend. So a state record was broken. A young man from Litchfield, Owen Borema, had a 34-game hitting streak. It didn't end until I told him I'm coming out to watch the kid hit. Then of course, the day before I got out there, the streak ended at 34. And he got a lot of publicity. He's been on TV here. It's a great streak. But part of the story is who held the streak before him. So Tim Gullickson was a high school senior at Deer River in 1983. I think we talked about this last week. So I talked to Tim. I talked to Tim's high school coach, Jim Urzar. Speaking of officials, Jim's a guy I know as a basketball official.
Sure.
And he coached baseball. He was the varsity coach in Deer River for 37 years until he retired 2 years ago. Now he's an umpire.
There you go.
37-year baseball coach. He said, no, I still got to be part of the game. He's an umpire. But it's really neat. So Tim Gullickson, who held the record, he now lives in Bemidji. He's 53 years old. And he told me, he was funny on the phone. He said, I've never been more famous than I am now. I was never this famous for holding the record because nobody knew about it. And so Tim and his coach, Jim Urzar, both begged me to congratulate Owen Borema from Litchfield. And I did that. We were sitting in the dugout before a game on Friday, and I'm interviewing Owen. And I said, hey, by the way, Tim Gullickson, the guy whose record you broke, and his coach both specifically said to congratulate you. And that's awesome. That's pretty classy.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. He's a heck of a ball player. We should get Owen to the officials thing. He's going to go to Northwestern in St. Paul and play basketball and baseball. And he's pretty busy. I don't know. Yeah. We could get him. We get him on a football field as an official.
We'll find work.
But
for
if
him.
you go to John's Journal on the high school league website, mshsl.org, you can read about these two guys. And there's an awesome photo of Tim Gullickson in his baseball uniform from 1983 that his daughter Lindsay sent me. And that's got a little action on Twitter too. And I told Tim, I said, I'm older than you. I've got much worse looking photos than that. I don't know if I told him, but my high school baseball team, our uniforms were orange with black pinstripes and bright orange. Our colors were
orange
black.
And black. Oh, like your kid, John. So I know all about orange and black.
We thought we were so cool.
Well, that reminds me. I grew up in the Baltimore area, at least when I was a big baseball fan, and they had Boog Powell, and he sometimes wore orange and black. But it was relative, as tasteful as orange and black could be. The Orioles uniforms attempted that. Then Boog ended up with the Cleveland Indians and wore all Cleveland Indian red or orange.
That's not a good look.
And he earned the nickname the Giant Blood Clot.
That's a good name. And Boog probably didn't mind it.
No, it's probably better than Boog.
Boog, yeah. There you go.
You have some coaching and broadcasting news for us.
We do. We had a big basketball coaching announcement. Bryce Tesdall has been at Eastridge for 2 years. Got a great program there.
Yeah.
Went to state this year. He's leaving. He's pulled up stakes. Been hired as the head boys basketball coach at Minnetonka. So kind of a move across town. And we talked about last week the McDonald family basketball legacy, how they've tracked how many points every member of that family has scored. from Bob McDonald's first points in 1948 to this year. Mm-hmm. One of his grandkids made a free throw, which was the 30,000th point. I don't know how many points Bryce has. He's Bob McDonald's grandson. He's a good young coach. He was at New Prague for a while. They nabbed him at Eastridge, and now Minnetonka has brought him in, and he'll do a good job over there. He's really sharp. I know they're really disappointed to have him leave Eastridge. But those Minnetonka kids I know how excited they are because he's an up-and-coming coach. In 2 years, took that team to the state tournament, and he'll get over there to the Lake Conference at Minnetonka, do a great job. And, Jim, you and I know Sloan Martin.
Yes.
She was named this week as the new Lynx radio play-by-play announcer. And she made history in the winter if you followed the boys state hockey tournament. Mm-hmm. She was the first female in the 75-year history of that tournament to do
called
play-by-play.
The North Branch game. That was her.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
She's very good. She's a great person.
She was awesome.
And, congratulations to Bryce Tesdall and Sloan. This is exciting news for some young, talented people.
Absolutely. No, Sloan's great, and she's replacing John Foke, who's also excellent, but I'm glad to see Sloan getting this opportunity.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Let's go to Tweet of the Week.
Yeah, this one concerns the tractors. If anybody who has ever spent any time in a small town, a lot of times a one-day a year is designated as Drive Your Tractor to School Day, and up in Piers there was a great tweet. Just a line of tractors sitting there in the school parking lot. That must have been 20 of them. Kids driving their tractors to school.
Ours is always the last week of school. Our kids drive their tractors, and it's awesome.
There you go. You don't drive your tractor?
No.
But I love, coming from a town of 800 people in farm country, I think that's fantastic.
Great.
So that's your tweet of the week. Way to go, Piers.
So it's great that there's Teacher Appreciation Week. I just think it should be every week of the year. But if we have to narrow it to 1 week, we'll go with this.
And that's this week. And my mom is a retired teacher. 2 of my 3 kids are teachers. And one thing that's fairly new, and I've tried to help boost this, are signing ceremonies for kids who are going to be teachers. We're all familiar with the great ceremonies for kids who are going to go to college and be athletes. But I got this idea from a school in Iowa a few years ago. They kind of came up with this, and so I've kind of trumpeted that around the state. So I'm going to go to Wilmer on Friday. They're going to have a teacher signing ceremony. They've invited me to come. I think it's at 7 a.m. Doesn't quite fit the sports writer time profile, but I'm going the day before, and I'll go to a ball game or something and go out to eat with some friends the night before. But I know my daughter, she teaches at Burnsville High School. They're having their teacher signing ceremony this week, and Wilmer's doing it. And I know there's other schools around the state. So anybody who's doing this in your school, let me know. Send me a tweet or an email, and we'll help publicize that. So excited to be in Wilmer with current teachers and future teachers on Friday morning to kind of celebrate all of our teachers who do so much.
By the way, cool. I do some work with WLMR, so if you run into Todd Burgeth or anybody from the station out there, say hello to them. They're good people. They've been great for me. Anything else you want to get to today, John?
It looks like the Twitter crowd is pretty
content.
Quiet today. No questions, no angry arguments up
Either
on
that
Twitter.
Or they've just taken all their anger to a different website, which is more likely.
That's okay. There's other places online
Absolutely.
You can do that.
Yes. So why don't we wrap this up by having Brett just remind us of the place, the date, the time, and the best way to contact you.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, May 14th from 6:30 to 8 at Tartan High School in Oakdale. And that's the officials workshop geared for college students. And the best way, if you can't make it and have questions, is to email me, bcarlson@isd138.org.
And you were at Lakeville North for a while.
I was.
My kids I'm old enough that some of my kids went to Lakeville North when it was called Lakeville.
Ah, yes.
And who had some Lakeville North experiences. I still remember one of my first Lakeville North sports experiences was going over to watch a basketball game, seeing Elizabeth Dominic play.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I go back away, but I got to see a lot of good basketball in that town.
I heard her name mispronounced at so many basketball games and track meets, and Liz was great.
Yeah, awesome school. Had a great experience there. Loved it.
All right, John, you want to wrap it up? You got anything else you want to add?
Well, looking out the window, it's a beautiful day today. In spring, we never know that, but it's been good. As I said, I jinxed Owen Bormer at Litchfield, and then the day I did arrive, of course, they played 3 innings, and the game got washed out by rain. So let's hope for great weather. And boy, spring sports, as Brett knows, happens in a hurry.
Yep.
Especially for athletic directors trying to reschedule things when the sun's shining, everybody's happy.
Yes.
So let's hope that continues.
So thanks to our producer, Brandon Morton. Again, if you'd like to advertise with this show or anywhere across the large network, you can reach us at talknorthpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks to Pizza Barn in Princeton, and it's called pizzabarnprinceton.com. I know you can remember that. Even I can remember that. Thanks so much to Brett Carlson for coming out and seeing us in person and giving us such a great idea. I love problem solvers. That's such a great idea, solving two problems with one fell swoop. And thanks, of course, always to John Millea for scouring the state for great stories and bringing them to this podcast. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for having me on.